Okay, what's going to happen now? What on earth does 2021 have in store for us? That being so, I thought I'd start off with one of my favourite topics, something that I'm passionately interested in, and that is neuroplasticity and growth mindset. And I really do feel that they are the cornerstones of very, very much of what happens in our life. Many years ago, when I decided to go and study addiction and become an addiction counsellor, I remember I fell in love with brain chemistry practically from the get-go. And one of the things that fascinated me and that I wished I'd heard more of was neuroplasticity. I thought, my goodness, if I had known about that when I was really fighting a battle and addiction had me on my knees, things would have been so much more encouraging. So I thought tonight, for those of you who may not be familiar with the concept, I'd just tell you a little bit about it. For very many years, centuries, people thought that you were born with a certain amount of ability, and then you grew up, you reached a certain age, and that was it. Your ability and your intelligence were fixed. And then, having reached that certain age, you would really, very depressingly, just slow down and slide into senility. We know now that that's not true at all. In fact, our brain can evolve, and if we adopt certain new practices, if we persevere, if we practice a lot, we can actually change the structure of our own brain. And I find this mind-blowing. I find it mind-blowing because most particularly for people who are feeling hopeless, lonely, frightened, scared, who feel that there's no more hope for them and that there's nothing they can do and that they're powerless. Rather like the elephants you see in circuses who've just got a little tiny piece of string holding them in place round their ankle. They could break free just like that, but they don't think they can. And that's why I find this so fascinating. So basically, neurotransmitters, if you practice a lot, if you practice a new instrument or a new language, or a very frequent example people give are the taxi drivers in the olden days in London. Their memory, the whole part of their brain that concerned memory, was much more developed than mine is or many other people's are. And what is happening is that these neurons are communicating between each other, and the more you use a certain pathway, it's rather like a donkey in a field, the more that pathway grows, gets bigger, gets stronger. And there's a lovely expression which really describes it all. It's neurons that fire together, that wire together, fire together. They get strong. And when you really start to think about it, it's fantastic. You don't have to stay stuck the way you are. If you practice something, you will get better. So following on that, the next bit of that really is exciting is research done by a lady called Carol Dweck. She's a psychologist from Harvard. And she started really observing children, young children, and she could not work out why some people seemed to have everything going for them, were really intelligent, whilst other people were much less so. And yet the intelligent ones that everybody suspected were going to succeed, go on to dizzy heights, didn't. And she became fascinated by this. She wondered, why does this happen? What is going on that people who really are very average get to much better places than the clever ones? And what she realised was that when she looked at children, she'd get some children come in and they were very clever, but if you were given a mathematic problem or something they couldn't solve, they withdrew, they avoided, and they stopped trying, because the worst possible thing for them was to lose face and to be seen by others not to be as clever as they'd always told they were. The other group of children loved the challenge. And she said it was quite fascinating. Some little boys actually said, "Oh, I really love this. I love working out why I don't understand it yet." And yet is the real magical word in this. And that is what she's made famous now. In fact, she said that some universities or schools in America, when people don't get the required grade, they give them back their report and they say, "You haven't reached the standard yet." And that is what is so incredibly empowering. And going on from there, Carol Dweck's really saying, if you persevere, if you don't give up, if you say, okay, I don't know this for the moment, but I'm going to try a little bit every day, I'm going to get a little bit better and a little bit better until I master it. You can take that concept from the school children to just about everybody, and I find it particularly helpful for people who are despairing right now, who literally don't know what to do. They feel they're stupid, they feel they're disempowered, they feel helpless and hopeless. And this is what neuroplasticity and a growth mindset does. It gives them back hope. They might not be good at something yet, or they might have tried something and failed, but they can try something else tomorrow. So that was just a brief, informative, I hope, session to acquaint you with this, because I think that when we're living through hard times, and I have lived through some horrendously stressful times in my life, what we need more than anything else is the belief that there is a solution, that there is hope, that we can get out of it, that we can find strategies and we can put them in place. So I've got 2 more videos to come on this topic, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, if I haven't explained it very well, please subscribe and please get in touch, because these videos are for you. They're for the women like I was, who just don't know what to do and are feeling totally washed out and discouraged. Don't be, because there is hope, I promise you. So I see you very soon, and thank you for listening, and Happy New Year to everybody with all my heart. Bye bye.